Welcome to part B. We're going to highlight the rear harness in the engine bay and the old generator removal. As we go into the engine compartment here, we're going to show you what we found in this very original bus. The wiring harness is protected by these tubes here that you see being pointed out. Anything to prevent the wires from being exposed to the elements. You do have this junction point where wires are distributed to their various points in the engine compartment. In this case, this goes up to the target lamp. You have the corrugated metal that had some flex when it was brand new, but over time rust has prevented that from functioning properly and thus has broken, exposing the wires, which have over time decayed. Coming out the bottom of the target sign, there's another metal tube that is supplying a wire that goes down to your license plate light. This whole entire housing also would have had what today would be considered a ground, because mind you, this is a positive ground coach, which is going to be changed. This box we're highlighting now is your service box for a mechanic or driver to utilize to turn on and off the coach. It would require the switch on the dash to be in the on position, however, to work. Here the wires go down to your right tail light. Somebody in the past has twisted the wires together, putting some tape on them. This is not the correct way to ever do an electrical connection, but tapes come off. Now you have a exposed wire that can short out and cause an electrical fire. You can see the old generator sitting there. This is the last video showing it in place in its full extent. Here we have what's left of the tube material. It's still made today. We use them in a lot of the vintage cars that we rewire. It was used in engine compartments to protect wires from heat. Here we have some wires where the previous owner had ran through the bulkhead into the bus and ran it over the tops of the windows. His goal was to get power to these taillights. If you watched part A, you would have seen that the top step, when we removed it, exposed the main harness. It's completely gone. Water damage had completely rotted the wires out. So everything got ran differently. You didn't have to worry about how things were done at that point in private hands. So everything's going to be corrected. We do have a massive tube that comes out about the center of the bus where the service tunnel is. Comes out to the right of this video here, out by the generator there actually. Right behind where that mechanic starter box is another service panel, but from access from the outside of the bus. It's also where there's a generator there, by the way, but on the outside is the regulator location. All will be rewired, updated. We don't want to rely on old relays and stuff that just are not readily available nowadays as they were back in 1948 and 47. So in this case, we'll be updating a lot of the filters here to spin-ons, things of that nature. We have our temporary diesel pump there that we utilized when we did the fire up. So everything's good to go. The head needs to come off. Whether we upgrade to a 4-valve, we'll see. We'll see if there's any benefit for this particular block. It has a tag to the left there, a little copper-looking thing from when it was rebuilt last. So time will tell. So in this service area on the bus, it has several relays in here, as well as that big box is your voltage regulator. That won't be used in this bus ever again. It is possible that we'll gut it and just use the cavity inside to utilize it for modern purposes, but we'll see what happens here. See how far we want to try to keep it looking original, but time will tell in this area. But down in this bottom corner here is where the harness comes in from the outside here. So we're going to go inside the bus here, and we'll show you where this tube comes in. So just above here to the kind of the top center of your screen, you can see that tube. It goes into the left, which is your service tunnel. And going to the top of the screen is going to the right side of the bus. So this is the access panel inside the bus, and this would be the seat area, the bottom seat. So this is how you access all your bolts and everything. Just in front of it, there would be additional panels that we've removed, and this gives you access into here to see some of your initial service tunnel area. There was a lot of insulation in here that's been since removed as well for heat. So now we're going to talk about some wire that you can purchase through Rhode Island Wiring Service. We've been utilizing their company's products for many, many years on various vintage cars, from Duesenbergs to just run-of-the-mill. So here you have some battery cable examples, from the solid color to one that has a tracer. You can custom order these. They have a special machine that braids the fabric around modern wire. So it's far superior over what would have been used back in the 40s and 30s. It comes in all different gauges. We'll come back to the smaller gauges here in a moment. But we just wanted to show you that yes, you can get the large battery cables used in the silver sides, all the way down to gauge 6. So we're going to swap over here to some tubing. We mentioned in the engine compartment pointing out where they have a fabric. Well, these are two different types. The top one here is just like what was used in the bus. It uses the cotton fabric, whereas the bottom one is a metal version, still black in color. So you can use either or. The bottom one is going to probably last a little bit better in lifetime. They're both going to function the same. They're supposed to protect the wires inside from any heat penetration and deflect it. You can get all these tubular type products in various sizes, but we're going to probably stick with the original in this case. It's tried and true in general, because the aluminum also has its downfalls. So either way, they're going to fall apart after 50 more years. So then we come into where we were talking about the target sign, and where you had this conduit. Well, you have the original, which you see at the top of the screen here. But if you want to do an upgrade, you can go to the bottom one here, which is a stainless steel option. These are typically stainless steel for the cars, like such as a Model A, for example, where it's out in the open. This will provide a waterproof option that's going to last for many years to come. It's not going to be utilized for constant flex. It's not intended per se for that, like it was when it was used on the silver side's target sign. But it works for its purpose. So we will look at using the original, because it's going to last for many, many years. So in this next set of photos here, this is showing you the smaller gauge wires, 14, 16, 18. You can take your pick depending upon what your wiring requirements are. We have several colors that are going to be required in this bus. But this gives you an example of a single tracer at the top, dual, 3 and 4 tracers. So you have your options. Different colors can be utilized for all variations. So tons of variations that you can come up with. Even for the tracers, it can be checkered, which is a total different pattern than what you see here. So visit Rhode Island Wiring. I believe it's pretty easy to get a hold of them on the phone or email. We've never had a problem. So go ahead and visit them for your needs.
we have access, just say what we're doing, we have access to all these generator attach bolts with exception of one. So all of them can be accessed, all of them can be loosened. Ray's already got one of the nuts off, except for this one, which we're gonna get. So we will not be defeated.
I think we're talking to the nut.
It's the comic relief portion of the show.
Your stupid flywheel or clutch, whatever, that's wide open.
Yeah, it's a possibility, a small one that did go in there. No, I'm not going to be defeated. I refuse.
Oh, that one right there, huh?
I mean, you can get it on there.
Right, but then you don't get any torque.
Yeah, and see the other thing, you can see the tabs down there where the belly pans went.
Okay.
You can see where here's the other mounting point, and so they would remove them because they're a pain in the ass to get on and off. Oh, they never put them back on.
Well, here goes nothing. I'm going to cut this one off.
It's a bold move, right? I know another guy who made instead of coming back in here and manually doing the fuel changeover from front to left, it's an automatic one. You put something right there.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to come back and shift it because there's nothing from the front that allows you to shift it.
No, there's not. You had to get out manually, and
there's no gas gauge. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, like 800 gallons or 800 miles to fill up, but still.
Right. No, I would. You know, Scott's got it in his bus where he installed a separate fuel pump. Now we bought a fuel pump so we can fire it up. Well, we can turn around and use that electric fuel pump to do the same thing Scott did, and so he can pump from the small tank into the big tank when it starts to sputter. Then you know hey, it's time to go fill up.
Do you believe that, assuming, jumping ahead a little bit, electronics are good, that the motor would start up?
We already had it running.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, you go on the YouTube channel, you'll see the fire up.
Cool.
Tom was adamant. I ain't leaving till this fires up.
Great
And so I forget which cylinders are in the back here, but you had the injectors with the coolant around them. So we know that the head has to come off.
Sweet. Okay.
So what we got to do is take a picture. I got to send it to the guy who we're getting parts from the parts buses. And he knows diesels really well. And he says, look, out of the 671s, certain ones you can, just leave that in place so we don't get crap into the bus. He says certain ones you can go ahead and put a 4-valve in it and it'll actually give it better performance. But on certain motors, it won't make a difference. So if this is one of those motors where it won't make a difference, then we'll just take this out, put new liners, and put it back on. It's got plenty of power.
Is it most probably a 2-valve?
Oh, it's guaranteed. That's a 2-valve, yeah.
But so it hasn't been upgraded?
It hasn't been upgraded to a 4-valve. But I can get a 4-valve for $1,800 with the Jake brakes, with the valve cover and everything. You know, but the thing is that is it worth me picking that up or not? So I'm gonna send this guy the pictures, and you know, if he tells me it'll do okay, fine. I'll get one off of a newer 671, and they call it a takeoff because it's off of a motor that's still running. That's just being parted out because it's out of a vehicle that was no longer good, but the motor was good. And so if that's the case, fine. We'll swap this out. So we'll get this running, drive it into the shop on the weekend, dismantle all this, use our engine hoist inside, pop it out, pull it out, slap the other one in.
So this is the hoist point right here and here?
Yeah.
A lot of weight.
Yeah, Scott did one up there with the bus boys in Minnesota there, I think it was, and they used a forklift, which is a hell of a lot faster, but I understand you can do it with the engine hoist, but I don't know. I kind of like the idea that we may just drive this in forward, and then that way the back of the bus is outside, and we just rent a forklift for $500 for a day, and just get it swapped out real quick.
Jill, you look like you have something to share.
I thought you were with the bus
He talked about cutting off that nut.
Yeah. Well, he's modifying the open-ended wrench to see if he can
That's what he's going to
modify it so that way we can try to get that out. Because once we can get that that generator out, we can get the alternator brackets in there and all that, and get everything that we took off the other bus onto here.
These are really handy.
Yeah.
Love these.
Get so far.
So you're gonna go through the top right there.
Yep.
Okay.
Little pressure.
Go ahead.
Yep.
Keep going. A little more.
Loose.
Get your hand out of there before you pinch it.
Yep.
All right. So we should be out. It's got to be a little bit more straight, but can you get on the other side, Ray, and push this way, please?
Guys, don't do anything for sec. There's a gear here.
Yep, we got to go more straight. We got to straighten it out before we
Hang
tweak
on,
it.
I'm gonna push.
What? His fingers are in there, Ray.
Hold on.
Ready?
No.
Mine are behind it.
Okay, push. Okay, there you go. Stop. Okay,
Which way do you want to get it out?
let me get this further clear of the gears.
I'll go back a little more.
No, I need to come out a little bit.
Are you trying to bring this end out?
I need to get free and clear of the gears.
You're moving it to the passenger side.
I get that.
I'm asking, is that what you want
Yes,
to do?
yes, yes.
If you look at that,
We're
Put my
clear.
hand behind me and try to help move it.
We're good, Ray.
Sorry about
We're
that.
good.
so yeah.
So it's out. It's out.
Is
Now
this
we just
rest-
got to lift it out of here. That's going to be the next job.
yeah, it's pretty heavy.
Oh yeah, it's a very heavy.
Look at the side here. Well, how much clearance have we got?
This hole right here.
Well, and also between the flange and the bolts and the gear have to be less of an inch.
All right. What's this line? This is all battery cables,
Yeah, one right there.
and
We're together.
these are all disconnected, right? So
Nothing holding on but gravity in the wood.
so
Can we kind of gonna shift it a little bit?
yep. So
Go right back in
I
that
would
hole, spin it.
rotate that towards the back and get this one forward.
Ray, the key is to not get our fingers
Right,
smushed.
which way?
Going this way.
He's going clockwise with it, right?
This. Watch it, you're into that
Yep,
reverse gear now. Kind of caught on that.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, you're
You
caught
got
right
the
on that
battery.
lever.
Yeah, I do see a lock washer though.
Yeah, found one.
A big one or a small one?
Small one.
I
Well,
think that might have been the bottom one. Is the nut right near there?
I don't see a nut.
I bet you that one's smaller than the rest. That stud's smaller than the
Do not move anything.
Okay, let's pull that off. Okay. So,
Is it,
no, it's just free.
oh, that gives us some room.
Okay.
It buys us a little breathing room. Okay, so Ray, I'm going to kind of bring this toward me,
Okay.
that kind of toward you.
Alright, but we're gonna have to go your way first, I'm thinking.
Hold on, let me move some wires.
Be careful, I think these are brake lines right here where my fingers are.
Those
Fuel lines. Fuel lines.
fuel lines.
Oh, no biggie.
We're going to be replacing those.
But we're still on that reverse knob thing, you know?
Where? Oh, below it?
No, we're right on it sideways. So we can't,
All right, you're talking about the shifting linkage?
yes,
Okay.
Okay.
All
we
right.
can't spin this end.
So this we need to pick up somehow and get it through this hole.
No problem.
I was thinking on a ratchet strap. A couple of them maybe. You know what I mean? Put it right around it.
It's too bad
So
we can't
it-
steal it. Come along off of Jill's bus.
Oh, yeah.
Dang.
Well, we know it wasn't leaking.
No, it's just so full of dirt.
Sorry.
No, that was the leak-proof material.
All right. So that's a little stiff, but if
Right, now for the next one though, that's gonna be a different story.
we got it.
That's gonna, well, you're gonna get this one off too.
All right, so that's a 5/8.
You're on that other fitting. I'll see if I can get
Yeah,
this
yeah,
one. This may not
Got
work
it?
the way we want to. God, hitting that. Alright. I think I'm rounding that right around. spinning on it.
That spinning?
No, I'm spinning right off the nut.
Wrong side.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I see the wrench. Oops, sorry, I'm digging right into you.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
The wrench is just sliding right off.
Try one here.
I think that's round, isn't it? That's round.
Yeah, like that.
Oh, you gotta undo. I gotta hold.
There we go.
You gotta go up, and I gotta go down. Maybe. Oh, there we go.
So it was a pop quiz.
Well, one's fixed and one isn't. Now they're both broken. Edit, edit, edit.
There's a lot of edits in this production. Let me see the vulgarity, the bad jokes, the inept mechanics.
I'm a tradesperson. I don't know what comes out of my mouth.
Yeah, me neither.
Unfortunately, I've been doing the same trade for 40 years. Now I changed.
You're just days of confusion.
Variety's the spice of life.
Yeah.
All right.
But, like I said, oh.
And this is one that's spicy meatball.
We got a lot of
Oh, did
spice
you
there.
hear about?
We got some.
All right, now you got it. All right, hold on. Don't go too far now because you're going to lose the balance point of it and you're going to have the whole thing.
I'm excited. Be careful of fingers.
Yeah, well, it's hitting this now.
I think we're looking good.
You know what? You could. Hold on.
We're gonna try to make a wood slide, put the slide down.
That's what I just said. I was like, oh, you could just slide it.
If we could like turn.
It just
You
says
already
one
turned it
heavy
that
baby
way.
coming down that
Did
slide.
this.
Very much.
Right. But now
And it
you
ain't no
can't.
toddler anymore. It's
Yeah.
got several years experience.
Be a little less weatherable if that one decides to knee in the groin.
It's hitting on that thing
Oh,
right
yeah.
now.
Those jewels are pebbles.
And then we'll have to push it back in order to get any of this
And
off.
then they're blasting
And then we
fans.
could put a big wrench on that bad boy. Take the whole thing off.
We won't be able to spin it. We're going to hit right here. We won't be able to spin it because it's going to hit here.
It's not. No.
That nut, if you try to unspin the whole thing, it's going to stop because of that. Unless we can push that back enough to get that. Unless I can get around the front, the other end and spin it more.
Easy, man. Go big or go home. That's what I say.
Yeah.
You can always have an almond joy.
Blech. Coconut.
Sometimes
Hang
I
on.
feel like
Don't do a thing.
Okay. You guys Almond Joy fans?
I have no problem with coconut.
I like coconut straight out of the shell, but like no
I grew up in
process.
SoCal. I grew up on Hawaiian food and Japanese food and Chinese food.
Yeah, I love all of
straighter
those
now?
things, but processed coconut is disgustingly sweet. So
Well, yeah, it's true. I think you guys
So you know
got
what
it.
to do?
I don't
Kind
know.
of little by little,
Yep.
we're going to kind of move it down and
Hang
let
on.
it.
Wait a minute. I got an idea.
Oh, we need some more wood. You need to slide it.
When he's got a wood, he's got a wood.
I deal with wood.
Okay.
this
Nice.
sure would make the process easier.
Oh!
Jill, this is
Oh! This is awesome! Look at that! Oh my God! Woo, woo, woo! I pulled off a freaking generator with these, my peak, from the 3751.
Nice.
Freaking righteous.
You couldn't. Not without my camera being in there. You would have.
So now you can see the void left behind with that generator removed now. It's quite massive.
Never saw that hole.
That was
Might as
awesome.
well just keep it there.
So things that funny that make you happy, right?
Oh yeah. Nothing more satisfying.
God, that was so good. Yeah, this was.
Down there.
There we
It's
go.
like a kind of petcock there,
Oh yeah.
and then
They got
I
your
like
scale
my
out?
engines with my coffee maker.
Shit.
Nice and hot.
Hey, I can get one
That's
end.
how you roast the beans, right?
right.
You just stick them in around the, just like a hot potato when you're driving down the road. You just wrap it in foil and stick it in your engine. What could go wrong?
I can't believe we did that.
So at this point, our goal was met today. That's the most important thing. We've avoided this generator removal. We knew it was going to be a humongous task at hand. It has a couple nuts that have to get removed that are on the very bottom. You have your air pump that's also in your way. Just to get the beast out of there is a task. You saw some fuel lines that had to be disconnected to get moved out of the way. You have the fittings that are on the bottom of the air dryer that had to be moved out of the way. Obviously, they're kind of loose, so they're able to be spun out of the way without too much effort. So, the weight of this generator, I think that's pretty heavy. So, luckily we had a way to slide it out on a board that happened to be laying next to the bus. So that was fantastic. There was just no way we can get engine hoists out there on top of dirt and move it around too easily anyway. So now our engine bay is ready for its next phase. So being that our focus is on our electrical system, we're going to go ahead and start removing all the wiring, the tubes that hold the wiring, even all the way up to our target sign. So there are a lot more things going on. Obviously, we're going to upgrade to modern filtration, where once this bus is on the road, when it needs servicing, it can pull into basically any trucking service centers and get brand new filters. We want to use run-of-the-mill standard filters that are readily available, whether it's for fuel filters to your oil filter. So we're going to give Luke from US Coach a call. He's a fantastic source for a lot of these old buses. So he's definitely worth a phone call. Now, as far as the front of the bus is part of part A of this particular series of going through the bus and where the wiring harness kind of goes through. The front of the bus, the wiring has been completely removed since the first video was taken. Our next phase up there is to prep the driver's area, since it's all original. Stripping the paint off, sanding it down. PPG is coming on board as a full sponsor to paint the bus or provide all the paint supplies that will be needed. So we'll be rocking and rolling, getting that ready to go. So we have different areas of the bus that's got different phases planned. No matter what kind of weather we have, that allows us to keep moving forward. So more videos to come. We're trying to make this as documented as possible. We do not have a dedicated video crew. Myself or staff members, volunteers, will do our best to hold a camera to bring you these videos. So we definitely like to give a shout out to our volunteers and staff here at Two Feathers Restorations and Design for helping out the RVMH Hall of Fame Traveling Museum put this bus together as part of the collection to tour the country and to represent our RVing heritage as well as our vintage Greyhound bus heritage. So kind of two worlds there. So make sure you check out the companies that we have mentioned today. Rhode Island Wiring for your wiring needs. And in our opening, we have a few different companies there that their products are going to be used on this bus. There's more to come. Their products are yet to arrive, but there's going to be a lot coming forth here, from solar to the whole power systems and more. So make sure you like this video and follow us so that way you'll get the notification of future videos coming aboard. So we thank you for joining us, and we'll see you at the next time period.